I'd move back 50 up, what I thought was about 50 yards, and I would say, drop 50. And they just keep repeating that. Now, we just kept moving with that. It was well after 4 before the first elements of my guys got to the company wire. I had, at that point, I made 15 wounded, 1 killed, and we left Campo. 1 platoon was given the order to reoccupy the position, and I said, I want to go back, I want to get Campo. We saw Chinese bodies hanging on the wire in the position, and by the time in the Monday count, it was anywhere between 45 and 50. And we picked up 5 wounded prisoners. And there was Campo in the slit trench with his rifle. He'd been protecting the wounded. And I'm glad I lived long enough to be able to let them be recognized for what they did, because they're all dead now. I'm the last one.
I remember them every birthday, every 2nd of November is my time. I think about Remembrance Day. My Remembrance Day is the 2nd of November. I've never forgotten it, and I do the same thing every 2nd of November. I get by myself, I pour myself a drink, and I sit there, and I think about 2 platoon, Able Company, the Flying Deuce, and 28 heroes.
The incredible defense of the Sangok by the 2nd RCRs stops the Chinese attack. But within days, further along the Canadian line, the Chinese strike again. We are traveling on the highway north of Seoul, and with me is George Ferris, who fought with the 2nd Battalion Vandues in the fall of 1951. And this is the first time George has been back to Korea.
We're going to take George back to the old battleground, where his unit fought a major action and a significant action on the saddle between Hill 227 and Hill 355.
That was the worst place to be at that time, because the Chinese wanted all these positions, and we didn't want to give them to them.
Throughout November, the Chinese attacked the UN front and recaptured several major heights, leaving Hill 355 as the critical anchor of the UN line. In an effort to strengthen this key position, on November 22nd, the Vandues are ordered to occupy the dangerously exposed positions in front of the hill.
The area that you fought on is still essentially at war.
Well, it's on the demarcation line, or
just
DMZ?
It's right inside the DMZ. Yeah. So as we get closer, we'll see the barbed wire and the minefield signs.
We don't have to go in the minefields.
No.
Okay.
No. Oh, well, if we do, you have to leave.
George, here we are.
I see some of it. Oh, yeah.
So we're going to take the what would be the supply route up, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Up to what would have been the Jeep head.
Yeah.
So you'll see all the stuff just like it was back in 1951.
Yeah, except for the bombing.
Yeah, no bombing.
good.
Hopefully no bombing.
There we go. Back up on the hill. This is getting familiar now a bit more than I thought. After all, I hadn't seen it for almost 55 years.
So we're going to go up to the GP that's right on the shoulder of, off the peak.
Yeah.
And from there we'll get the view of
Yeah.
the Chinese positions 227.
Yeah. Well, there it is. I see 227 there, and I see also the hill where at the bottom we parked our vehicles and climb up that hill to go right on the saddle. As I was going up to take the position, I met the British coming out of the hill. And as they came down, they said, okay, good luck, guys. Be careful, at 4 o'clock, the enemy will start firing at you. And we took it with a grain of salt, you know. We got up on top of the hill, and it was a hot dog stand that they had their weapon in. My couple and I didn't like the idea of going in a hot dog stand, so we decided to move the gun. And around 4 o'clock, as they had predicted, they start firing. I said, if we would have been in there, we would have been dead today, you know. Well, the first night we carry on digging, and we were being shelled by the enemy. You're in your hole, and you keep your head down, and you hope that it's going to stop soon, and it's scary. We had a dugout. The roof was supported by a beam of wood. I don't know where they got this tree here, but a big piece of a big beam of wood. One of our guys was in there, and when that bunker fell, when that was hit with a heavy bomb, the beam splintered, and one side of the beam got into the stomach of the guy and killed him on the spot there. You wish that it hands quit. And when it's heavy, you feel like a rat, you're caught. Well, there was question about thoughts of retreating. Never did it came to the mind of any of the men in the company or the battalion. As a matter of fact, our CO told us that it's going to be hard. There'll be no panic, no overrun, and no withdrawing. There was never any thought of retreating. The Vandals don't retreat. They stay and fight.
Right now, George and I are traveling along the DMZ towards Hill 210. We are hoping to get a better view of the saddle between Hills 227 and 355, where George fought with the Vandus in November 1951.
Well, now it's starting to look like something that I recognize. I see it in the way that I used to see it. Oh,
Here, we'll go over here. This is it?
Yeah.